All right, we're live.
So we're live on
YouTube.
Oh, you,
I'm
oh,
gonna
works
just
now.
yeah, cause I'm on my phone. I still have to figure it out on the computer. But hey guys, we're back.
Hey.
It's been like 2 months, but I moved and people have been busy, so we're back 2 months later. But we're gonna try to be more consistent. Hopefully, Sheree isn't here today. She couldn't find a babysitter for her child, so. Hey girl, if you're nobody's watching yet, but hey girl, happy early Mother's Day. Actually, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Yeah.
So today, our main topic we're going to be talking about getting married young and being a mother or a parent young. Right. But we're going to start off with trending topics. So today I was at work and I was watching a video about R. Kelly. I don't know if you've heard about like how he has like a supposedly has like a sex cult and
Oh, no, I didn't hear
yeah.
about that.
So it's been the rumor has been going on for a while, probably since like late last year. And he also this isn't the first time. Like it's been brought up maybe like the early 2000s. He had like a tape with a young girl that was supposed to be 14 or something, but he didn't get convicted. So yeah, it's coming back up because there was one girl on TMZ or something that got interviewed, and her parents think that she's being held against her own will and things like that. But she says that she's not. She says that she's fine. But there's also been other women that have come out and said like, hey, we've been basically his sex slaves. We've been kept in a house and stuff. So I was watching a video today. I think it came out maybe like 2 or 3 days ago. They were interviewed by Megyn Kelly. It was 2 other women, and he had supposedly had 2 houses of women. So he's from Chicago. So one of the women lived in the Chicago house. The other woman lived in the Atlanta house. And I think the girl that her parents are saying she's being held, I think she's in the Atlanta house. But yeah. So it's I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like if he is really holding these women, especially underage girls, none of them are underage now, but I feel like that's sick. Like
It still doesn't matter.
yeah, it's like
Underage or not.
yeah, like why are
Shouldn't be doing
you
that.
holding? But then it's like some of them are willfully going though, so it's like where do you draw the line? Because some of them, I wouldn't say they knew what he was doing, but like some of them thought that hey, if I hang out with him, he'll make me famous. So they went to the house and then they just like never left. They were there for like years.
Because he held them.
Yeah, but it's kind of confusing because some of them were saying that he would like control like who they texted and called, so like they would be on his cell phone plan, like they didn't have their own phone plan and stuff. But then they were able to get out. So I'm like, how if y'all were being held? I don't know. Some crazy stuff.
He like, okay, you can leave.
It's some crazy stuff going on. But yeah, I don't know. But I just think that it's really unfortunate that this is happening, especially because it seems like the women that were in the houses, they seemed kind of like brainwashed. Like they were just so I don't want to say thirsty, but they just wanted fame so badly that they thought that this is the way that they could get it. And then they ended up being like kind of in a cult and being trained to be his slaves and basically just be there having sex with him. Like they had to ask for permission to go to the bathroom and to make phone calls and stuff like that. So it's just sick. But I feel like there's like a double standard when it comes to black men that are accused of like these sex crimes and white men, because I feel like black men actually kind of get actually go to court about this. But I don't know if you heard about like Harvey Weinstein and all these white guys that are like sexually assaulting people in Hollywood, and nothing has happened to them. Like they lost their jobs, but that's about it. Like nothing really happened. So I think it's a double standard. I feel like if you're a pedophile or you're doing illegal things to women, I feel like no matter who you are, you should be accountable for it. So I just think that it's really sad. It's just sad about like all this stuff happening to women, and the video just made me like cringe because I was just like, this is so sad, especially if they are being brainwashed and things like that. But I also think that it's like kind of two sides, because some of them are kind of fame hungry, so they're willing to do anything, but they still shouldn't be like held captive and stuff like that if they are being held captive. So it's
Yeah.
just a lot of stuff that goes into it that's just like, this world is crazy.
Because that's just like the thing with Bill Cosby. Like how is it true that he drugged those women and drove them in and said, you know, they thought, oh, he's gonna make me famous, so I can move up to the next level, or
Right.
what happened with that?
Exactly. Hey, Hanson.
How you doing?
Hello. Good.
You're
Yeah.
reflecting?
Oh, we're doing like a live like podcast type thing.
You said a collage.
I guess that pictures and cut them up.
No, a podcast, not a collage.
Stick them on something. It has evolved. What are you all talking about?
We're talking about like the double standard between like black men that get accused of like sex crimes like Bill Cosby and R. Kelly, and then how like Harvey Weinstein and people like that have not really been convicted of anything. They just kind of lost their jobs and that's about it. So that's what we're
And
talking
the
about
black
right now.
people are serving jail time.
Yes.
Like, even if they have money,
Yeah.
still.
It's like, well, you're still black, so you're gonna have to pay for what you did. But what were you saying? You were saying like they thought that he could make them famous, so that's why
Right, that's
yeah.
why they went in, but it doesn't matter. You still went, and
And
Yeah,
then he
you were a
took
victim.
advantage.
So are y'all saying there's a justification for what they did?
No,
Okay.
no,
All right.
no,
no.
They definitely deserve.
I don't want them to lean that way.
No.
Yeah, no.
Definitely not. Especially because he was like drugging them and stuff, and they had
So that is a whole other sickness to me.
yeah.
Why you need a dead woman to
Yeah,
make
that's
love?
really-
That is very weird to me.
yeah.
I don't know what that
Definitely
was
is.
about.
Yeah.
That's he needs some therapy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really sad.
Yeah, why do you have to do that? I don't.
I don't
So-
know, because it's like the women were already there, so I feel like a lot of them that wanted fame, they probably would have slept with him. 'Cause that's what a lot of women do. So why do you need to drug somebody? Like you could have just
Yeah.
been like, "Do you want to sleep with me?"
That's-
and they probably would have done it.
That's
So
why.
yeah, it's weird.
That part that they never addressed.
like why you did it?
Yeah, because I think he wouldn't have any problems.
Yeah.
You
I
need,
agree
you
with
need
that.
to come in the camera.
Yeah, Hanson.
Oh, no. Let me just be the voice. No face. No, I just thought it was strange. But, I don't know. It's one of those things, sex is one of those things that it's up there with the elements. It's a strong force. Mess people up.
It does.
Presidents, kings, you see it in the Bible, you see it in politics.
Yeah,
It's
Mess
true.
you up.
It really does.
it really does. Yeah,
Well, no.
you gotta be with Jesus. You gotta know the king.
Well,
Take me to the king.
they said that he was married to Mary Magdalene.
Ooh,
But
That
he-
Jesus was?
Yeah, I never read something about that, but the church didn't want to
Oh.
make it known. Because she was there. That few
That
women
makes
who
sense.
was there when
Yeah.
the stone and the rock and stuff, she was one of
Right.
the people there.
Huh.
So,
they need to clear that up.
Yeah. I'm gonna add. Do they learn that in theology school?
All right, I'm gonna ask my
Yeah,
husband.
ask Matthew.
They probably don't have a lot of, last time I didn't get school.
Her husband.
Ask them this question for me. Noah and the ark, okay? So he was the only, him and his family. and
I know what
whoever
you're gonna
was
ask. How did mankind like repopulate?
No, it's not that. You're the only person survived, everybody dead. How come you have nothing to say about it? How come you don't have no book, like the book of Noah?
Oh.
God was right. Oh shit, or something.
How
you
come
have
what?
nothing to say?
How come Noah?
Yes.
Yeah. After
About what?
about
After
the
the
flood
ark.
and stuff. Like why didn't he
Everybody
write a
else
book?
died in the
That's a good
world.
question.
Just him and his family. How come you have nothing to say about this thing that happened?
About the
That-
whole flood thing.
That was so, not just the flood thing, everybody else dead.
Yeah.
Right.
And you
That's-
say nothing?
I mean, because he obeyed, right? Everybody
I
else
understand that.
everybody
He
else
obeyed,
didn't obey.
or like God was right. That the
Right.
flood came and wiped out everybody.
That didn't get on the boat because he
Yeah.
told them,
Yeah.
if you don't get
I
on this boat.
survived. Something, say 2 words, 3 words, nothing. No one was silent.
Maybe he wasn't a
I-
writer. I'm gonna just tell people that I know.
You need a podcast.
So you was right.
Ask him this time about that. How long have you know happened in this show?
There's so many
That's funny,
questions.
yeah.
So many questions,
I
yeah.
thought I just
Unanswered.
started reading the Bible by myself, and then I had questions.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this? What is this?
Yep.
But
Yeah.
then the things they can't answer until you have to have faith. Because
Yeah.
they can't answer them either. You don't know.
That's
Well,
true.
good luck.
All right,
Thank you.
Hanson.
It's a very controversial topic you all are
Yeah, it is.
taking on. So I don't know.
All right.
Who's that? The Attorney General from New York. He just resigned because he was slapping women that he was dating.
What?
He
Ooh.
just resigned this week.
Oh my gosh, I didn't hear that
He
one.
was a Me Too. He was a Me Too movement guy. He was
This is too much.
promoting it and then all of a sudden, an article came out. He would date some woman. They were at a cocktail party. And he just woke up to her and slapped the woman. She had to go to the ER.
Oh my gosh.
And like, she didn't tell him that she ain't provoking or nothing.
Wow.
Wow.
That's New York, Attorney General.
Wow.
All right, good.
All right, see you.
Thank you.
Okay, so
We said
Any
all
more?
that to say. Just,
Right.
everybody has to do better. Do better.
seriously,
It's-
this world
it's
is really crazy. I'm trying to think if I have any other. Okay, this isn't really trending right now. This was a couple weeks ago, but I just watched the video. So there's a singer named Khalees. I don't know if you ever heard the song Milkshake. My milkshake brings all the good.
Oh yes, yes.
So she was married to the rapper Nas. They've been divorced for 9 years now, right? So she did like her first interview ever, like after their marriage. She's never really talked about their marriage. She's never talked about their marriage. This was her first interview. And it was like an hour and 15 minutes, but I watched it. And she was just talking about basically how he was like a narcissist. He had no empathy. Like all he thought about was himself and like how other people perceived him.
Wow.
And he was abusive physically, and she was just talking about a lot of stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. But I feel like, I guess what I want to talk about briefly is how when somebody comes out with something years later, how people don't believe them.
Right.
And it's kind of like a double standard. Because, I mean, I'm not even going to lie. Sometimes, like, with the whole Bill Cosby thing, I was like, why are all these women coming out now? So it's kind of hard to believe them. But then in the comments of that video, they were like, why is she just kind of bashing him now when they've been divorced for 9 years?
Right.
But it's like, we weren't there, so we don't know what really happened. Like, this could be true. And there's 3 sides to every story. Hers, his, and the truth.
Everybody.
So, I just thought that was interesting how people just, like, you weren't there, so how are you so clear on if she's lying or if these people are lying? Like, you weren't there. Like, just let them talk. Even if they are lying, like, okay, like, that's them. So,
Yeah. And some people just don't want to believe it. Whether, I don't know if they like the person or they're
Right.
like a fan. They're like, no, they didn't do that. 'Cause
He
that's
would
what
never
I,
do that.
That's what I wanted to believe about Bill Cosby because we saw him on the show and we were like, he's great. He's funny. He's cool. But that was him on the show. So we don't know beyond that. So if somebody's telling a story and that's what they believe happened, that's their side. And no one should have anything to say about that. But
Right.
everybody has an opinion. Everybody has something to say.
especially with social media, everybody has an opinion.
Everybody has something to say. And then, she had to just know for herself that's what happened. And if people
Right.
don't believe her,
And like,
that's
I
hard.
honestly feel like when people, I feel like she was telling the truth because she started like tearing up on certain parts. Like, I don't feel like if you're lying, some people can cry like when they're lying, but it
Right.
just felt very genuine when she was telling her story. And she wasn't like bashing him; she was just saying what happened. She was like, "I wasn't innocent either. If he hit me, I hit him back, and we were fighting." So, anyways, so I guess the last thing is, I just thought about this. How do you feel about, so on the topic of Bill Cosby, how do you feel about his wife sticking by him? Like,
Right.
throughout all this, she still is like, these women are lying. That's not my husband. Like, I mean, and you're married, so I know Matthew would never do anything like that. But
Right.
like, would you still stick by him if all this stuff happened and like he got convicted? And well, I don't know if that's the word. Did he get convicted? I think he did. So he's waiting for a sentencing.
He's like in the house or something, like on
house arrest. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on house arrest. Yeah, that's hard. She's very in denial. She's just like, she doesn't want to believe it at all because that's her husband. She doesn't want anybody to see him in that light. But if all those women were saying that, I'll be like, yeah,
it gotta be.
He's crazy. I mean, you know, I would still say, you know, that I do love and care about him, but
Yeah.
we're not going to be together.
Yeah, that's
Because it was more than 1, 2, 3. I mean, that was a lot. And it's probably a lot for her to take in. It's a lot for her to just accept the fact that he really did that. That's not easy at all, but she has to step back and look at her value and what she's worth and say, okay, you know, he did do this. And that's going to be hard for her to accept it.
That's so true.
She's going to have to.
So
I mean, she
true.
doesn't have to. But she doesn't have to accept it, but, you know, all those women were saying it. So.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't even know what the number's up to, but it's something like almost 50 or something. It's like crazy now. So it's just like, dang. It's
that's,
really wild.
You know, that's cool that she's sticking up for him. But
Yeah.
sorry.
Honestly, like,
sorry.
I'm sorry, this might sound messed up, but like, I feel like when people are convicted of stuff at a certain age, I honestly feel like they should just be like on house arrest because he's honestly probably gonna die soon. So it's like, what's the point of giving him? I think they gave him like 40 or 60. He's gonna probably die in like 2 years. So I feel like he should just be restricted to the house, like
just stay there for the rest of his
life. Because it's like he's probably gonna die sooner if he goes to prison for real. Like,
and I feel like, I mean, the way he's looking on TV, it doesn't look like he cares. He's just like, it does not look like he cares. So I'm just like, just let him do whatever. Like,
just keep him on house arrest because. Yeah, I totally agree. I really agree about it.
Yeah, he's just walking around, following them, like, where do I have to go next? Where y'all taking me now? It's just like,
he's super old. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I guess we can talk about our main topic. You can lead. We'll just tell them again what it is and we'll get into it.
So the main topic is being married young, right? And what the society thinks about it and just our opinions on it, and that's it, basically.
So what do you feel like society pressures people to not necessarily get married young? I asked the question like on Instagram and Facebook. Do they feel pressured to get married like by age 30 and have kids by age 30?
Yes, I think it is. I think there is a big pressure. It shouldn't be that way, because if you want to get married, then that's great. If you want to get married young, I mean, because like young is like, now it's like 20, you know, people are getting married at 20, 21. So if you want to do that, that's a big decision that you have to make. But I do think it is a pressure. It's a pressure to say, okay, I need to get married by the time I'm 30. I don't know if I'm going to have time to pop out these babies. Like, that kind of stuff comes up, and those kind of questions get asked, like, okay, you're 26. Like, you don't have a lot of time left. What are you waiting for? And sometimes it's not, you know, that the person's just not getting married. Sometimes they haven't found the right one. Sometimes, you know, it's just not the time. It's not the season for them. But there are some great men and women out there. I'm married, but there are some great people out there, but you just have to, you know, wait on God sometimes, and you have to be patient and go to the right areas, the right venues, the right places to try to find and meet people.
That's true.
It can be hard though.
I agree. Pushing 40, their mom is like, well, I want some grandbabies. But it's not like how it is for women, because I feel like we're conditioned since we're little to be like, oh, I'm going to be a wife and a mother. Like, you're to kin and things like that. So I think we are conditioned to feel like we have to get married and have kids, and some
Yeah.
people don't want to. I know that I do. I want to get married and have kids, but some people don't want to. So I feel like it just puts a lot of pressure on those people. It makes them feel like something is wrong with them if they
Right.
don't want to get married or have kids. And kids are a huge responsibility. So I had asked this question on my Instagram and Facebook, and one person said she feels she's been in a serious committed relationship for like a while now, and people are just like, well, what are you waiting for? Why are you guys not married? Why are you guys not doing this? So she says she definitely feels the pressure. And then somebody else said that she does, but she also feels like people think something is wrong with you, like when you like if you don't have kids.
Right.
And she's just like, I want to be financially ready. Like you don't want to just bring in
you
a
said
kid.
she's married and they
No,
asked,
I
she's
don't
not.
think she's
okay.
even in a relationship, but she's just like, people are just like,
Just on her about it.
yeah, like, why don't you have kids? And she's just like, first of all, I can't even take care of myself. Like, that's how I feel. Like, I'm still, like, not that I can't take care of myself, but it's just like, you want to be at a certain place. Everybody's not 100% ready to be a parent, but
Right.
you want to at least have your finances in order, have something in order before you bring a child into the world.
Yeah.
You don't want to just jump into it and be like, okay, I can't even take care of this child. We're going to be eating ramen every day. Like, you don't want to be like that. And it's like,
don't.
and then it's like, if you're not married, you want to, you know, if you believe in getting married or whatever, you want to find that spouse first. Or at least if you don't believe in marriage, somebody that you would want your kids to be like. You don't want to just be out here like, oh, I don't care who it is, who I have kids with. You got to deal with this person, that person for the rest of your life. You better care.
You do.
So
you really do.
it's just, it's a lot. But I think that it is a definitely pressure on women, especially.
It is. And I believe personally that if you're with somebody, you know, and you're 24, 25, still trying to, you know, get your life together, but you're in a relationship and y'all have been together for like 4 or 5 years and you haven't talked about marriage, I mean, I feel like that is something you should talk about, because then you're probably going to want to have sex and what have you, and it's just going to be like, okay, come on. You know, you need to do something about this.
Yeah.
But people get scared and they turn away from it and they don't want to do it. I got married when I was 23. And a lot of people did, you know, say to me like, are you sure you want to do that? And, you know, but a lot of people were happy for me. My family was happy, and, you know, some of my friends were happy, but some people were in shock. Like, are you going to be able to do all that you want to do? And I did have a push and tug on me about, like, am I going to be able to fulfill all my dreams? Am I going to be able to do all that I want to do? Getting married so young, because my husband, he knew what he wanted to do. He was going to get his PhD next, but I was kind of like, what am I doing? Am I going to be able to figure things out? And I got scared about that, but then I realized, like, I'm marrying my best friend and he supports me and he cares about me. So when you're with somebody like that, it's easier, but you really do have to think about all that stuff, and it's not easy.
I agree with you on the point that, like, when people are together for like long periods of time, it's like, so what are you, not saying that everybody wants to get married, but it's like something should have been discussed, like, by then. If you guys do believe in marriage, it should be something like, okay, we're gonna get married in whatever, or what year, or whatever. I feel like you're just wasting your time if you know that you want to get married and you still haven't talked about it 5 years in. Like, you just wasted your time if you know you want to get married and this man is not even thinking about it. So you guys need to be on the same page. Now, if y'all are okay with just, because there's some people that are together for 20, 30 years and never get married. If you're okay with that type of situation, cool, do what you do. But I feel like if you know that you want to get, like, if that's a future goal of yours, you guys should definitely talk about it, because you're wasting your time, and then you're like, oh, but I thought you didn't want to get married, and then you just wasted 5 years out of your life. So
Exactly.
I definitely think you should be intentional about those type of, you know, conversations, because it's important. You don't want to waste time. What else was I about to say about that? So it's weird though, because it's like people think that you should get married by the time you're 30, but then if you get married at 23 like you, it's early. So it's like, what age are you supposed to get married at? Like,
I know that's why everybody's gonna have something to say. I keep saying this, everybody's gonna have an opinion, and sometimes that can steer you away from it or make you feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. But if you know, have a relationship with God, you talked about it with God, and, you know, sometimes your family's not going to be cool with it, okay? Sometimes they're not going to agree with the fact that you're getting married young or you got married late, whatever. They're going to be like, okay. But you have to know for yourself. And that, what you were saying what were you saying again? About how...
I don't remember.
I was trying to come back around. But you were...
I think it was like, I think I was saying, like, what age are you supposed to get married? Because
30
is too late,
yeah.
and then it's like 23 is too... So what age are you supposed to get married? It's like, it's whenever you feel
like, that's what I was saying. Whenever you feel like you should do it. But I don't think you should wait too long, especially if you are with somebody that you really care about. Because there's people that are with somebody that they really care about, and they don't get married.
Yeah. And I also think that they're... in this new age of like millennials too, people feel like they have to have everything together before they get married. It's like, y'all are supposed to be building together. Y'all not supposed to have everything together. Like, okay, that's cool if you get married when you're like 40. You might have all your stuff together then. But if you're this age and you've been with somebody for 5 years, you might be still building together. You can still get married. Like, y'all will build together. It doesn't mean that y'all have to have everything in order before you get married. So... but some people are really like that. Like, I have to be making this amount every year to be able to get married.
Get all the degrees.
Yes, like you can do that at the same time. You know that you can like multitask, right? So I don't know. Some people just feel like they have to have it all together too. So I don't know. The whole conversation is just a lot. Like it's a lot to unpack. As far as getting married young, I don't think 23 is young. Like. You had graduated, like, if you know, you know. Like, and I feel like y'all were prepared. So, and then at the same time, it's like, it's two different type of relationships. Like, if you're in a relationship and you're doing it God's way, you ain't gonna be waiting for 5 years?
Not me.
That's a long time. Who is doing that? I'm sorry. Like, let's just
somebody's
be real.
Playing around. If you're waiting
Let's be real. You cannot be celibate and doing things God's way for 5 years unless y'all live in different countries, states, or something. Y'all barely see each other. Like, like for real. And I feel like people also kind of judge people that like court and stuff like that because they're like, you guys only known each other for like, but who about to wait? Sorry, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to keep it real. Like. Nobody's going to be waiting 5 years to, be intimate. Like, that's just how it is. And I feel like when you know, you know. And if you're prepared, if you've done counseling and all the stuff that you need to do, talked about, all the things you need to talk about, I think that you're fine. You never know somebody 100%. Like, you keep learning about them through being with them. Like, my parents, I'm sure your parents have been together for a long time. My parents have been together for like 32 years. They still learn stuff about each other. So... it's just an ongoing process. I guess back to being young though. I will say like I will say in my opinion, I feel like if you're getting married at like 17, 18, that's young.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like now it's young. Back then, they made it work.
Because they were, oh, this is great. Make it work. Yeah.
Yeah, like back in the 50s, and even like when our parents were younger, like they got married young like that, and they were okay because things were a lot different. Like you could survive off of a smaller income.
Things are more expensive now.
Yeah, you could survive off a smaller income. Like you didn't really need that much money. Like it just, like you said, the cost of living wasn't how it is now. People didn't really need degrees and stuff like they do now. So it's just a lot of factors that go into that. But I feel like at 18, first of all, your brain doesn't fully develop until you're 25. So my brain has just developed all the way. At 18, I'm just trying to think, like, if I was 18 and married, I would be divorced. Like,
you might not.
Girl, at 18, if you knew me at 18, like, I wouldn't say I was immature. I wasn't immature. I've always been pretty mature for my age. But like me now compared to how I was at 18.
Emotions. Girls have a lot of emotions. So you're like,
I'm
wait
still
a minute,
emotional.
did I do the right thing? Oh my goodness, I need to turn back. Like, what happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
At 18, I definitely, no. And I feel like that's most 18-year-olds. You're still in that transitional period where you're like, you don't even know who you are for real. You're like, okay, I'm going to college. I don't know what's going on. Like,
I don't know what's gonna happen or who I'm gonna meet.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So I feel like that is kind of young, but I mean, like, if you can make it work, do what you do. But I feel like sometimes, like we were saying, since the cost of living, like you wouldn't be able to survive at 18 being married for real, unless you're living with your parents or somebody, because the cost of living is not cheap, especially if you're in the DMV area.
At all. You're gonna have to move somewhere else. I don't know where, but you have to move somewhere. Not to Maryland.
Like somewhere down south that you probably will be okay, but not Maryland, because you are not living anywhere nice. Like, sorry, you're gonna have to live with your parents. So
yeah, and not like I was saying before, not a lot of people encourage young marriage, but a lot of people also do. And it's young marriage. It's really fun. You really enjoy it, especially like I said, when you end up with somebody that you really do love and care about, and knows that they have your back and stuff like that. But it can be a lot when you're unsure. You know, right when you get married, you're unsure about it, and you're confused. That's not good. So you do want to be sure about it. You want to know deep down in your heart that's what you want. Because once you're married, you're not turning back. I mean, the divorce thing, I'm not doing that. That's not.
it's forever.
Yeah, it's forever until death do us part. So when you better listen to all that they say, because that's the real deal. That's really how it is. So I get it. If you're 23, 24, 25, and you don't feel like getting married yet, I totally understand that, because it is a big step.
And listen to your intuition, or what I call the Holy Spirit. Like if you are being like, if your spirit is discerning something that's like a huge red flag, you have to listen to those things, because that's not gonna go away. Like if it's a huge red flag that you've noticed when you're dating this person and it's not been resolved, that's not gonna go away when you put the husband title on him. So
when they show you their true colors, believe them.
Right. If he's cheating on you, sweetie, when you're dating, he's gonna be cheating when you guys get married. So it's just like, you just have to really be smart, and I just feel like people don't trust anymore in this day and age. Which I mean, hey, we live in the age of people getting exposed on social media, and it's just a lot of It's rough in these streets, because a lot of people have just been hurt a lot. So people are scared of commitment now just because of those reasons. So it's tough to be a millennial, especially if you still have like those kind of traditional values. And a lot of people don't have traditional values anymore. Most people don't want to get married anymore. And that's, hey, if you don't want to, I'm not judging you. But most people don't. They're just like, it's just a piece of paper, which I'm not even gonna get into that. It's not, but that's what people feel, because that's what people treat it like. People are just like, oh, well, I'm gonna treat my wife or my husband any kind of way, and it's like, you're not taking marriage seriously.
Right. We don't have to spend time together. We don't have to hang out. No, that is a marriage. You're communicating every day. Hopefully you are, because that's what it is.
Even when they get on your last nerve, you still gotta make it work. So, yeah. I don't know. Anything else on the topic? I'm trying to think.
So you said you do agree with.
I feel that it's if you know and you're prepared. I mean, I feel like people shouldn't tell you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. It's your life. Like, there's people that can counsel you that are older and are like, I wouldn't do that myself. Some people know, you know what I'm saying? Like, older people do have more like experience and know stuff, but it's like, at the end of the day, they're not you.
Right.
So it's like, you're still gonna do what you want to do at the end of the day. So if you want to get married, just make sure you're serious about it, and make sure you're in it for the long haul, and that you're not just trying to leave as soon as this gets on your nerves. Like, you can't. And I feel like that's why another reason why our generation, if they do get married, it's not lasting, because people want to run as soon as stuff gets hard.
Yeah.
And it's like, who said marriage was gonna be easy?
Right.
This is two people coming together that's not always gonna agree. So there's gonna be times that y'all clash. There's gonna be times that you do not feel like being around them. But it's like, this is your husband, this is your wife. You have to do it. Like,
and we should know that, because of like the friendships that we have. They don't always go the way we want them to.
It's not always peachy cream. So that's just how it is with being with people. Like, So I just think people are just so quick to give up, just like, well, he getting on my nerves, and okay,
Yeah.
pretty sure you get on his. So
And I think too, some people have that marriage mindset. Like I think when I was like, well, when I was young, like I always wanted to get married. Like
Yeah,
I
me
was like,
too.
I think I said I did when I was in college. I was like, I'm gonna get married by the time I'm 24, and it ended up being 23. But in my mind, I always wanted to get married. Like that's always something that I wanted to do. So I feel like that's where it came from for me. But some people don't. Like that's just
true.
not what they want to do. So, and I didn't know when it was gonna happen. Only God knew. But when it did, I was happy. Like I was
Yeah.
excited. And I did have to like work out the things that we had to talk about the things that we thought maybe would be a problem or would be a struggle or would be hard. But that's what that's what you should do before you get married. If someone can break y'all up, then y'all shouldn't be together. That's how it should be. I mean, that's how, you should get that test to see, okay, maybe this isn't going to work. Because you don't want to be with somebody that, you're not going to be
you
with
want that
forever.
to be strong, so no man can tear it apart. Okay, what God puts together, let no man. I totally agree with you though. I've always felt the same way. I've always been like, I want to get married. My mind has never changed. I wouldn't say that I lost hope, but it was becoming difficult just because of the generation that we live in and the society that we live in. It's different, so a lot of people don't want to be committed, especially if you're a woman that is celibate. Like dudes are like,
Yeah, oh yeah.
what is that? Like, no. So it's definitely more difficult for women that are like me. So I would say I did get discouraged a little bit, but what God has for you is for you. So I feel like it's gonna happen in His timing. So don't be discouraged don't change.
That's honest, yeah.
And don't
I got
change
discouraged,
your beliefs just because people aren't accepting of them. There's been plenty of dudes that were like, oh well, I don't want to be with you because you're not having sex, and I was like, okay, well you gotta go, deuces.
right?
Like,
And they were probably shocked, like.
Right, they thought I was gonna be like, okay, fine, I'll do it. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
So you just missed out on something I didn't. So I would just say, don't compromise what you believe in. Like, there's gonna be somebody that is gonna respect your values and your views and stuff. So don't ever compromise that just to be with somebody. But yeah, I definitely have always wanted to be married. I thought I would be married by like 22. Like, I'm about to have my husband. I'm about to have my first kid at 25. Like,
Right.
no.
We do that when we're younger, like 18. I'm gonna have this car. Like, you planning your life out, and
like,
none of that happened.
Yes, it's so funny though. Like, I really was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be married at 22. Like, I'm gonna be done having my kids at 30. Like,
Yeah.
oh, did it freeze? Oh no. What happened? Maybe it's the Wi-Fi. It's still going though.
Oh yeah, it is. Maybe it's just the connection.
No, that's probably what it is. Jesus. I don't know what's going on. No, we were having a good combo.
Yeah, because I was about to say I got really discouraged too.
Oh, really?
Sometimes
I'm about to end it.